Hi, folks. It's May 6th, 2020, Wednesday afternoon. The markets are closed right now. And let's begin by looking at the S&P chart. So at this point, this uptrend from Sunday is broken. The call for the week was a Sunday bottom and a high on Tuesday, and that's precisely what we got. We were looking for an ABC type of pattern, but there has been inversion with it where we are getting the A, B, C, except that there was, I guess, some misinterpretation of cycles as to how that would occur. And it's not really easy. I can't get the cycles to be right all the time, especially when the cycles of various degrees are conflicted, as is the case right now. So at any rate, the conjecture towards an ABC was correct. And, we had lots and lots of guidance in terms of what the upper end for the market is, such as 2904 and 2893 for today. And the actual high was 2894.2 earlier this morning at 5 a.m. What I wanted to show you is that this is a critical juncture, and from now on Wednesday evening up until Thursday 2 a.m. Eastern is a pretty critical time. And so, although we have guidance from our system as to what the worst cases could be, and price-wise, uh, you know, and I'll cover that. I want you to be alert. So, through cycles, I'll show you what the uh, optimal entries might be. You may not catch the perfect bottom, but what might be a good time to kind of look at some long entries once this wave down is complete. So obviously we're looking at this Hertz line. I don't know what the period here is. I'll have to check. That is at 2720.8. If you scoot over to the monthly wick cycles, the bottom is 2722.56. So the risk to the downside swing and the spike down tomorrow, and obviously we're looking at a major bottom. And these 24 hours can be pretty interesting, 24 to 36 hours. So from the monthly wick cycles, obviously, the upper end has been restraining the market. And on Sunday, the midline, I added the midline. The midline was able to control the fall. Today, or for the next 24 hours, the midline's at 2825.02. And I want you to note that value. Once we move below this, these 100 points could come really fast. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. And I'll show you I'm getting similar results from other models. Okay. So that's that. Right now it's moving lower, and I don't expect it to upswing. This last bar from today, from the final hour, should not be exceeded, or the correction might be done. So I don't expect it's going to happen, but that's a caution point I want you to have in mind. I think I published the stop level for this. It was 2862.75 or 50. You can check the last hour highs on ES. Okay, so that's that. I already covered this. Let's go to the daily cycles. Perfect match once again. uh, Down into Sunday, up into Tuesday, now moving lower for the final bottom of the April 29th correction. So, and you may notice that I'm already starting to call it the final bottom, and I'll show you why. Okay, I know Demi John is thinking maybe May 9th through May 11th. That could be yet another bottom. So, um, at any rate, we're looking at one leg down, one final leg down before a good upswing. On the Mi Chan system, we actually closed below the daily pivot of 64.63, but this was actually an intraday buy. So the probability of 2864.63 reprinting within 3 trading days, okay, is greater than 87%. Okay, and also there's something about the system that I had said when we were in a turmoil in March. We had a number of 2937.78, which was pending from March 6th. And the worst case ever for one of these unmet targets to reprint was 35 trading days. Well, guess what? On April 29th, we got a print of 2937.78, and it was, I think, 38 trading days. So still kind of within the bounds, but that will reflect in my system back testing and tracking going forward. Okay, so that's that. And obviously, if we are below 2843.61, then basically we're in the grip of the larger monthly cycle and looking for a larger swing down. The midpoint for these two is again 2727. So just remember that we get 2727 here. We get roughly same number here, 2722.56. And if you scoot over here, um, here's the status. We got a sell at the close. Dailies are on buy, so we may have a little bit upswing in the evening towards maybe I'm thinking 28.51 on the ES, and most likely into 7 p.m. Eastern. So that's that. Weeklies on sell and intermediates on buy. So and we know the primary peaked over 2911.71, and so that's a positive, although this really needs to clear up before things get going. So if you recall from the Sunday post, 2787.99 is a key number for cash S&P during regular trading hours. These VIX model is based on RTH and on SPX, so we need to keep that in mind. On so far this week, the low was 2797.85. That's pretty close to this number. So, the question becomes if this number goes, then a spike lower to 2727.01, especially due to the jobless claims report tomorrow morning, is not out of the whack. So don't be surprised if we get a bigger spike tomorrow than what is in the system. Net net, I think 2727 through the number I put on the weekly wicks model for Thursday. So 2727 through 2788.35 is the bottoming zone. Hopefully, we do not exceed this by greater than 1%. And I've actually started measuring this, and I'll present the results at some point. So far, I've seen a range of an error of 0.4% through 1.35%. So at some point, when I have enough data, we'll be able to average it out, and I could actually add that to the numbers. So that's that. And cycles wise, here's the A, B, C we were seeing, but instead we inverted from here. As you can see, we marked the high here in an inverted cycle, in an inverted daily cycle. And this is roughly 7 p.m. on the daily cycle. So that's why I'm saying there might be a quick move into 7 p.m. this evening before we continue lower. If I just look at the hourly cycles, all I am getting is a low of 2772 through 2798, and on the high end 2850 ES. If this cycle works out, then it's not really clean. The daily cycle actually bottoms I think this was around 2 a.m. on Thursday. And if you look at the hourly cycles, we have a bottom at 7 roughly 7 to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, right around the jobless claims report. Then I have another trough at 3 or 5 p.m. So I really don't know how this will play out when again hourly and daily is conflicted. So what I wanted to say was, we might miss the initial move. That's kind of one way to play it. We can miss the initial move, but uh, even Friday AM might be a good spot to gain an entry. It will be at a higher level, but roughly around Friday 8 a.m. might be another good entry. So uh, I just want you to play this carefully, and because the thing is, when larger waves take over, the point movement can be a lot more dramatic. Although that's the reason I developed the VIX model to understand what the potential price ranges could be. So, of course, I do suggest continuous profiting when the trade is working. That's really the only way to go, money in the pocket. So I let a few things run. I typically pursue out of the money calls. For example, here I'm pursuing 2,800, barely cost me anything, and then in the money ones at the top, which actually already more than made up for the out of money call that I'm pursuing. So that's just my strategy, but you guys can have your own. Okay, so that's the update, and good luck.